Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirits. Welcome home. This reading today is about getting guidance, essential guidance for your life right now, specifically spiritual guidance, but let's see what comes up for you. For pile number 1, we have Aquarius, Leo, Capricorn, and Cancer. And this is your star card. For pile number 2, we have Sagittarius, Pisces, Taurus, and Scorpio. And this is your star card, represented by Inanna, for pile number 3, we have Virgo, Gemini, Libra, and Aries. And this is your star card, represented by Pandora. Okay, I will give you a moment for you to choose your pile using the card, the zodiac signs, or just your intuition. I will see you in your reading. Pile number 1, this is your star card, and this star card talks about something that you will see only when the night is darkest, at its darkest. So I believe that the guidance that you need is going to be shown to you in a moment of darkness, maybe the darkest period or the darkest moment that you have ever experienced. So maybe this is in the past also, if that's your case. So yeah, shining a light in dark places. I feel like there's a lot more to say about this specific theme. So let's see if this is where, well, the rest of the reading takes us. So we have the Oakman. So ancient wisdom. I believe that this is something from the past. So to me, this is confirmation that something from the past is going to be illuminated for you. A dark moment from your past. And the bodacious Boda. Okay, is there anything more for pile number 1? Not really. Wow, these are too many. Is there anything for pile number 1? Cards are really sticking together. Okay. Guardian at the gate. Okay. So let's also get you a rune. So is there any guidance for pile number 1? You have the Wunyo rune. Interesting. Which is all about celebration and enjoyment, a sense of home and belonging. That's so interesting. So maybe this is one of those contradictory, paradoxical readings, but let's see what else. What else for pile number 1? What is pile number 1's guidance for today? We have Venus in Gemini with flattery. We have the moon in Virgo with order. Mercury in Virgo with caution. Interesting. Mars in Aries with impulsiveness. And Mars in Sagittarius with domination. That's so interesting. Is there some kind of a wild aspect to you that, or mischievous even, or someone was mischievous with you and this person might have been a part of that moment from the past that was dark and that needs illumination? Was this person trying to put you down somehow, or to impose their own opinions on you? It feels like you wanted to escape that, like you wanted to break free from that. But at the same time, it seems to me like in that moment there was some kind of split in your psyche. So it's like a little bit that was left behind because of this. Maybe it was an argument. Maybe it was an argument with someone who maybe had authority over you, but they weren't really like an authority figure per se. It's just that in that moment they had the upper hand, they had more power, or they had more arguments. But it doesn't mean that you weren't right, or that something about you and something about your position wasn't right. Okay. So this might be someone who abused your power over you, even in a physical way. So I don't want to be triggering, okay, any sort of trauma, but that's not, of course, my intention at all. But I do have to speak about it because maybe for some of you, this has to do with someone who well, put their hands where they shouldn't, okay? And with that, they kind of, they how do I say this? It's like they stopped you from bonding properly with other people. So this is a very sensitive subject, and I am not in a position to be like counsel, okay, or like a therapist. This is a very deep and a very sensitive, and it's a wound that has a lot of dimensions, and it's very complex, and this is not the moment for elaborations on that, but I did see it. So I thought that maybe for some of you it would be okay if I spoke about it. And if this is bothering you, then maybe it's not for you, okay? Because I do feel like your guides want you to heal from this, and they want you to celebrate. They want you to bond. And if this is resonating in any way, I do believe that that's the path, okay, for you. It's the path of understanding what happened and putting it in the right place so that you can celebrate and bond and experience deep connection with other people and pleasure also from that connection. So there's something that, yeah, there's something there. And if this is your case, I am so sorry for that. I do feel like this can be a very dark, heavy thing to carry, and that the light is going to shine so bright, because the darker it is, the brighter the light. That's the main message. That was the message of the first card, this star card. So yeah, I didn't expect to have such a clear, sharp vision. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, so justice. It's time for justice. And if this is not resonating with you, this can be something like a memory with a friend or a family member or someone close that really hurt you, and they really overplayed their hand over you. But I do feel like that they had some sort of power over you. Maybe they were a caretaker, or they had more tools than you. Somehow this person had the upper hand, and they were doing what they do best. It's not exactly the best thing that they could do, of course, but it's something that they do very well. And sometimes people are really good at, for instance, lying or covering up, covering their tracks. They're really good at manipulating other people, confusing other people. There's something here about being duplicitous, someone who has two faces. So maybe it's like you were a child and you saw that this person had a different facet that most people didn't see. And because you were a child, you weren't really credited with the the validity of your views. And yeah, there's something about that. Like, it was something that someone who was supposed to be wiser, who was supposed to take care of you or to at least respect you, but I do feel like they used and they abused their power. Strength. The World. Seven of Pentacles. I believe that you have carried this long enough, so it's time to let go. It's time to end this chapter. This is what this guidance is about. It's about shining a bright light, a very bright light, into very, very dark places. So this might be a bit of a tough reading, because it's maybe it is a bit triggering for some of you, and I'm sorry if you feel like this is too troubling. Just check out the next pile or the next reading, or maybe this is not the moment. But for those of you who feel they're ready, it seems like you should work on something very, like a very dark memory that you have. Maybe even the darkest memory that you have. And maybe this is something that's a part of your spiritual evolution at this moment. Maybe you are well enough right now, supported in your truth and strong in your truth enough so that you can explore this memory without being it too much, without overindulging in that, in the emotions that will come up to the surface. Ace of Wands. And the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, so it feels to me like you are being inspired by Spirit to take the initiative to face these dark situations, these dark memories, before they take hold, before they go deeper. Because as you are growing and expanding your awareness and consciousness, your how do I say this? Let me just think for a minute. So it's like your awareness of what is good and bad also expands. So as you're growing, it's very wise to recap, to rewind a little bit and see what has happened to you in the past that might be amplified by this growing awareness, both the good and the bad. And this is saying to me that if you take the initiative, you will get so skilled, so proficient at this revision, positive revision, because it's facing those darknesses and the dark spots in your psyche created by memories that are less pleasant. By bringing light into those spots, you grow, but you also are more able to drive things forward, to take the initiative on things, because you don't feel this drag. There's something like a subconscious weight, okay, that I'm sensing there, but it's not even yours. I feel like you're carrying this because of this other person or this other parent, friend, family member. I don't know. You're carrying it for them at the moment. And once you go through that gate, you're supposed to be able to bond in a very different way. So it feels like the next phase in your life is going to require you to be able to bond and connect with people very deeply. And you can't do that if you're carrying this person's pain with you, something like that. Four of Wands. The Hermit. The Fool. Ace of Swords. I love this Ace of Swords. Actually, both the aces here, side by side. And this one wants to come out. Nine of Wands. Wow. Healing. A lot of healing. A lot of healing comes with truth and honesty, even if it's a bit brutal. Maybe you have to be blunt with this person. Maybe you have to say something to them, or to at least use some sort of it's like there's this magic word that's really blunt, that's really, it might even offend some people or be censored or it's like, it can be taboo, but it is what heals. It is facing that taboo. Three of Swords. The High Priestess. King of Wands. And the Five of Cups. Yes, letting it go, letting it go. Letting it go and being brutally true and honest if needed, it feels like you kept some sort of secret for a long time. Maybe because you respected this person and you didn't really want to rock the boat too much, or they had a lot of power and people wouldn't believe you. But now it's time to bring this forward, and it's time to say what you need to say, what needs to be said. Because it seems like you don't move forward if this doesn't happen. So I would say that you might be, at the moment, you're being guided towards a conversation that might be a little bit hurtful. There's some sort of confession. There's this path is taking you and also the other people towards the facing of the consequences. But facing the consequences might also mean that this person is torn down from their pedestal. And that might also hurt a little bit, but it's fine. You'll be fine because you will move forward. You will have a future. Because it seems like with this situation, you don't really have, you have a future, but it's not your future. It's kind of split between you and this person. And this person can have their space. They have their own, and also they have their own karma. Let's say they have their own baggage. They have their own issues. And if you're continuously connected with those, you will end up lost, directionless, or kind of like with the limp, like trying to walk with both feet on the ground, but then there's this splinter, beneath your feet or your foot, and you're limping. Being blunt and honest with this person is going to help you connect and bond. It's going to open the gate towards celebration and human connection, loving connection. It's also illuminating some sort of like a moment of celebration, that's going to be like a fire. It's going to light a fire in you. A moment of celebration that's going to light a fire in you. Yeah. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm also available for personal readings at the moment. You can find my email in the description box below. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 2, your card is Inanna. This is your star card, and Inanna is actually clothed with the stars. So, I don't know, something about that was really interesting to me today. Something about the way you dress, and something about you connecting that with your dreams, or the way you see yourself, as well as how you see yourself achieving your dreams. Okay, so let's see some guidance from Spirit today for pile number 2. Is there anything more for pile number 2. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I guess we'll get these cards first, because this is the green woman wanted to jump out and show herself first. So the green woman, something about creating and materializing your dreams. The sage. Wow. Something about this card also reminds me of Odin, of course, because of the eye. Sorry, yeah. Much like Odin, this character only has one functional eye, and the sage, the wise one, is also one of the names for Odin. Spirit dancer. And Luathas the wild. Okay. Let's see if you can... Maybe like that. Okay. So, okay, now let's get you a rune first, and then we'll get the rest of the oracle cards. Aha. The Ewas rune. Ewas, it's about progress. It's also about duality. Something here about seeing duality. And also harmonizing opposing energies. But also instinct. And there's something here about performing, or the moment, like the being spontaneous, being very present in the moment. Also with Luathas the Wild, so acting in the moment, focusing on the moment. It does feel like something performative, or something that needs you to focus in the present. It feels like there's something very performative, very artistic, also creative. So maybe this pile is for those of you who are artistically inclined and who are also working in some sort of performative art. Mercury in Libra with influence. Moon in Aquarius with independence. Saturn in Aquarius with eccentricity. Moon in Aries with protection. Mercury in Aries with restlessness. I guess that's better this way. And Jupiter in Scorpio with manipulation. Okay, so let's get you some tarot and see where we go from there. Princess of Swords, Prince of Cups, Eight of Staves. It's a very quick reading. This is it's like speeding up. Everything is really fast. Two of Staves. Three of Pentacles, Six of Swords, Five of Cups, the Moon, Six of Staves. So going back to the beginning of the reading, we were talking about how Inanna is cloaked with the stars and dressed with her dress is the stars, is also almost merging into the night sky, like that the firmament is her gown. And there's something here about something that's cloaked, and I do feel like it's about you. It's something about you. You also have here manipulation, all these stars. So it's like there are a lot of bright stars in... No, that's not what I was saying. So there's a lot of brightness that's for now like veiled somehow. It's kind of, it's cloaked. Like this character here. Cloaked. Like invisible. Like I don't want to be seen. I want to be invisible. Or I don't want to see that. There's also stars in the background. But it's almost like something you're not aware of, something that's behind you, something that is like hidden in a landscape, or that is merging with the landscape, like a cloak of invisibility. That's what I'm sensing here. There's a cloak of invisibility. That's one part of the reading. But then there's another part of the reading that's about this wanting, this spontaneity, this being in the moment, this really flow state, impulsive also way of being that also denotes some sort of eccentricity. Like it's seen like quirky, different, hard to put into a category. Very artistic. I would say that I'm speaking to people who have artistic inclinations, who are maybe difficult to understand. And maybe you also have this kind of temperament of being very much like seen or exposed and then suddenly disappearing. Like there's some sort of strange behavior here. Like I'm here, I'm shining, I'm glowing, and here I am, I'm performing, I'm showing whatever I have to show, I'm presenting, and then I disappear. And it seems to me like something you don't want to see at the moment is going to bring you a lot of benefit and also open the doors for some sort of collaboration. It feels like you at this moment in your life are exploring different ways of collaborating with other people, maybe. And the way this is going to happen, it seems to me like it's very spontaneous, very in the moment, very fast, like very fast paced. And then there's also this retreat, this distance or invisibility. That's the correct word, is invisibility. But it's almost like this is all a part of your work. And why? So why is this your guidance? So your guidance is to see how you balance instinct and intuition, or how you balance the more primal, like your more primitive, primal, even bodily needs with your dreams. So that's why I was saying, like, how you see yourself and how you see your dreams. What is it that you really want to achieve? And there's also the animal part here, the animal instinct. Luath is the wild, the spirit dancer, green woman, and even the sage. These are all cards that are somehow connected to some concept of wildness. It feels like that is protecting you. So you being kind of wild, untamed, has a protective effect. And it seems like eccentric behavior to other people. It's strange. It's like, imagine this, like, oh, I really want to do that. That's, yeah, in that moment, you really feel like, okay, I want to do this. I'm very positive. Okay, are you coming? Someone else wants to bring you and go with you to whatever, do whatever. Yeah, that seems really nice. But then in the moment, you sense that something's wrong once you get there, and you just leave. And everyone's like, where is that person? They said they really wanted to come. And it might seem very eccentric, very strange, but it's actually protecting you. It's protecting you from some sort of I'm trying to find the right. It's protecting you from an energy that is intrusive. So I would say that it's really good for you to be cloaked, to be invisible for that energy. And this is a fascinating theme for me because I have seen a few hints or suggestions in for videos that I really wanted to watch about invisibility, and how sometimes we can be invisible for certain kinds of energy, and I find it really fascinating. So I feel like this is, it's like your way of protecting yourself. So although it might seem really weird for other people, I would say that you shouldn't really bother with that, because it doesn't really matter that much. It doesn't really influence your outcome that much, because it feels like it just everything is going to happen really quickly. So it doesn't matter if there's some sort of waiting, because the sage is also patience. It's waiting for the right time, being very wise with your time and how you, and with timing. Because this reading specifically is very focused on timing. And the right time is going to come. It's actually very fast. So yeah, this is the guidance for you. So don't worry. Use that cloak of invisibility, because some kinds of energies shouldn't see you. It's fine. People will not understand you, but that's also fine. And they don't need to understand you. And you don't need them to understand you. Your work and your energy is what matters to you the most. But how you see yourself is really important. So if you see yourself like, oh, I won't say that to people because maybe I will hurt their feelings, or maybe if I don't go, they'll be sad, or if I am not enthusiastic or involved, they'll forget about me, or the connection will disappear, or something, will go awry. But I don't feel like that's very important. It feels like very quick incursions, and like snap events. That's what I'm seeing, like really fast. Like one sentence is like it's the concentrated version of like 6 months worth of work. That's what I'm seeing. So use that cloak of darkness, use the cloak of night in your favor. Protect yourself from certain energies. That's fine. It's the way you do your thing. It's how you do your thing. You are very different. You are very eccentric. You are peculiar. But that's what protects you from the influence of others. And when I say others, I am talking about a very specific energy. There's a very specific energy that's very antagonistic to your own. And to me, this is represented by the snake, but it's just a representation. The snake is a symbol for many, many things, including healing. But in this case, I'll see the snake as a representation of an antagonistic energy that needs you to protect yourself by being unpredictable or wild. Like there are many wild animals that are very, very hard to see, to catch, or to photograph, to film. So it's almost like that's your case, and that's fine. That's okay. It doesn't mean that you're not part of something and that you can't collaborate, because that's actually what I see here in your future, is a collaboration that will happen like that. Like, just snap your fingers and it's done. Okay, fine, it's working, and this is what needs to be done. It's very quick. It's done, and then you can retreat and protect yourself from this antagonistic energy. And also, I do feel like this is also guiding you to a moment in the future, which is not right now, where you can sense more precisely and describe and maybe localize this influence, this energy, antagonistic energy. Because it feels like for the moment it's very undefined. And because it's undefined, it's better if you just cloak yourself, if you just become invisible, because you can't really address it face to face. You can't really pinpoint it. Not right now, but it feels like your path is taking you there. And you just have to be patient, because maybe this energy is really also very good at dissimulation, at hiding in plain sight, maybe even. And maybe it's so accepted, it's so widely accepted, this energy, although it's so antagonistic to you, that it's hard to not find it almost everywhere, almost in every interaction or in every situation. So it's very important that you protect yourself and that you're not saddened or brought down by needing that. Okay, thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm also available for personal readings at the moment. You can find my email in the description box below. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 3. This is your star card. And this star card is about hope. It's all about hope. And it's also about something that is or will exceed your expectations. There's something very special that is going to exceed your expectations. So let's get you some oracle cards. So what is the guidance for pile number 3? Well, no, I think I'll start with the runes. So before that, we'll see these cards. Guardian at the gate. Arval Parrot. And the Glanconer. Interesting. Okay. Because looking at this card, I'm reminded of the story of Pandora and all the spites, so all the evil things that Zeus, the god Zeus, put in the chest was released. They were released into the world by Pandora, which is, well, she represents the curious nature of the feminine energy, of the feminine principle, imagination and creativity. And the only thing that stuck near the chest that was left was hope. Releasing the spites, and all that is left is hope. And Arval Parrot is about saying, it's about speaking, it's about communication. Some sort of release here. And the Glanconer is a master manipulator and kind of a dark energy, very, very challenging. But let's see. Okay. Okay, so this is the Ingwas rune, and it's about ancestry, lineage. It's also about the female and the male principles. But it really reminds me of DNA and ancestors and lineage. Also going to the source. Going to the source. The source of truth. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have for pile number 3. Saturn and Taurus with ostentation. Mercury and Cancer with intuition. Jupiter and Scorpio with manipulation. Jupiter and Capricorn with control. Mercury in Scorpio with extremism, and Jupiter in Libra with negotiation. A lot of Jupiter energy here. Mercury and Saturn. Okay. What is this guidance about? The Hanged Man, the Empress, Six of Wands, Queen of Wands, Page of Cups, Three of Cups, Queen of Cups, King of Wands, the Fool, the Sun, and the Five of Cups. So, there's something, So to me, it feels like this is a connection. It's talking about a connection. So it's a connection that had or has a lot of influence, a lot of power in your life. Doesn't mean that that person is powerful, but the connection itself is very powerful. It's a very powerful bond. It can be a spiritual bond. It can even be very karmic. There's a lot of entanglement here. It may very well be someone who with whom you have already created a life with, maybe marriage, or there's a close bond, maybe even family. Okay, this can be family. There's a very close bond. I'm seeing something like this, like really close bond, stuck together. I'm also hearing something like this, like we're stuck together. We're stuck with each other. We're stuck with each other. And I don't feel like it's something really bad. It seems like it's a strong connection in your life. It's something that it's a connection that might have been in your life for quite a while. So I do feel like this reading is mainly for people who have relationships, ongoing relationships that have lasted for a while, or that there's a family member or someone in your life with that, and that your connection is really strong, is really influential in every decision that you make. You always consider everything before you decide something for yourself, everything that might affect this person, and maybe you also talk to each other, and this person has a lot of influence in your power, and in your power also, in your energy and in your life. They might be controlling, they might be a little bit controlling. Now, if this is your case, then the guidance here is for you to, of course, liberate yourself from this, but it doesn't mean that the relationship has to end, but something has to change. You don't need to cut this person away from your life. I don't feel like that's a possibility, or that that's even what you want, but you do feel like there's a weight, there's something really, really negative about this person or about this relationship that really needs to be cleared. And to me, it feels like you had a lot of moments with this person where you lost your hope. You lost hope. And this reading is saying there is a way out. There is hope for you and for the situation. If this is a relationship that is very toxic, if this is a person who doesn't have any regard for your feelings, it feels to me like you're being guided out of that. This might also be the case. But I feel like for most of you, the relationship itself is going to change, is going to evolve. But it's going to require a leap of faith, for sure. Trusting that the connection will survive. If it's worthy, if it's strong enough, it will survive. And maybe you need to spend some time apart. Maybe that will happen because of other stuff that's going on in your lives, like career or something with the family, a move. I don't know. You might need to spend some time apart, and that might be kind of a challenge. It will be a test. It will put some strain on this relationship. But it does feel like it's a bit strained already. So if you're being guided into a situation in which it's tested, you might try to look at the positive aspects of that, because if it's tested and if it's true, if it's worthy, then it will stand the test of time and it will be fruitful. It will bear fruit. It will bear fruit. I don't know, it feels like you have children, or that you're going to have children, maybe. This is for some of you. Maybe you've been thinking, or you've been speaking and you've been talking about it. But there's some aspect about this person where they don't give you a lot of space. Like they put you in the box. They put you in an enclosed space, psychologically and emotionally. So maybe this person is a bit I don't know, I would even say like a bit materialistic, or a bit, I wouldn't say they're not shallow, in the sense of, being not being able to understand certain things. They're very smart, they're very intelligent, but there are some things that they want to keep away from them. They want separation from, or they want to keep in like a neat little box, and they don't want to address that. Maybe it hurts them, maybe it's triggering, maybe it's offensive, I don't know. There's something like a sensitivity, hypersensitivity to a theme, a specific theme. Maybe it's hurtful. Maybe it's something that hurts you. And I think that will be solved by you being more independent in your energy. And if you can't talk to this person about certain things, you certainly need to find someone to talk with. You need to speak your truth. And it doesn't matter if they want to embrace it and to give you space for that. It doesn't matter, because it's your truth. And I do feel like it's kind of an illusion that will be easily broken if you're more autonomous and independent. And if your truth stands by itself and is not affected by this person's triggers or sensitivities. And it doesn't mean that this person is a bad person, but there's something hurtful about this relationship that needs to be addressed. This person might hold very extreme views on something, and they might need to temper that, but that's their own business. I do feel like you just have to really be yourself, stand your ground, and stick to your truth, because eventually time and all the workings of the world will eventually show this person the way. I also feel like this person can hold a lot of negativity. They can be very hopeless at moments. And that might also be affecting you. You might also be kind of absorbing that energy for yourself. It's creating a kind of a mirroring effect. But there's also a lot of potential, okay? This relationship has a lot of potential for healing. But maybe you need to give this person time. They also need to give you time, maybe. I feel like as things are at the moment, the way you stand and the way the other people stands, the other person stands, sorry, it's not going to budge. So it feels like you have to make this decision for yourself, and then the rest just kind of fits. It will fit into its rightful place. Because this is the kind of truth that is irrespective of people's particular opinions or particular situations. It's very universal. It feels like if you leave things to be as they are, but be mindful and truthful of who you are, there's some kind of universal truth that is revealed in the situation. And this whole relationship is upgraded. And it's because of you focusing on hope. The only thing that's left is hope. Because everything seems to be going wrong, but it looks worse than it is. It looks much worse than it is. And for some of you, you don't need to throw this away immediately. It has the potential to be good and to be positive and even very creative, very productive. But your guidance is to never give up hope. Take that leap of faith for yourself, and the rest will fit into place. Don't worry about the rest. Don't worry about the sadnesses or the things that weigh down this other person, because they're also responsible for those. Okay, then they have to do their job, but you have to be in the position to help them, and that only happens if you respect yourself, and also if you honor that faith and that hope that you have. If you keep that light and that fire alive, like holding this torch. You have the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands here beautifully sitting, sorry, on their thrones. And they're there for themselves first. And I feel like this person has to find that. You have to give them space for that. You have to give them the time for that also. But first you do that to yourself, for yourself. Sorry. That's how you escape this like manipulative, even narcissistic patterns that might be repeating themselves. And maybe this person is just repeating the behavior of their family. You have the Ewas, the Ingwas rune, and it feels to me like there's this inherited behavior, but it's also a part of that behavior to be hopeful, okay? There's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of negativity, Now that I think of this, I also see this on the macro scale. So maybe this is also your perception of what's going on around you. And that's certainly a lot of people's experience right now is that perception that there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of misunderstanding, there's a lot of obscuring the truth, intentionally or not intentionally, but still it's kind of rigging the conversation, and it's the triggering. Yeah, all the triggering of these negative aspects of people, they really bring up the worst in us. So now that I think of this, maybe let's see. Nine of Swords. Yeah, it can be the environment, okay? This can be the environment that's reinforcing something, and it's also interfering with your relationships and triggering feelings that are out of place. Ruining good things, okay? Because maybe this is also happening to the other people, to the other person that you might have in mind. So there needs to be a lot of tolerance and forgiveness and this positivity, like unwavering positivity, so that you can create together, because there's that potential to grow together. So don't throw that away, and think about it. Distance yourself from the chaos. Distance yourself from the chaos very intentionally, okay? This has to be very active because it's almost become the norm. This chaos around us, this chaotic social unrest and misinformation and excess of information. Also, there's no way to process, to have an opinion, to have a clear vision if you're constantly assaulted by different opinions and contradicting facts, and it's so difficult to see the storyline. So I would focus on the story that you can tell. You can tell your personal story. And although it is affected by the environment and the collective and even this other person's baggage, ultimately your story, it's your power to hold that thread, okay? So don't let it go. Don't let go of that power. That throne is yours. And it doesn't matter what other people think or say. If you do things with hope and faith and with a good heart, everything will turn out fine. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that judgment, or if people think that you're having this extreme way of doing things, because if it feels like this is the way for your if this is the way to hope, if this is what gives you hope in the future, then that's the path of the fool, or of the person, of the soul. That is the path of the soul. To find all the important pieces and the truth. It's your truth that needs to be spoken. And there's also something quite universal here that might also connect you to something very sacred, something that is divine in nature. Of course, that will also require you to give up certain things. Specifically expectations, maybe. Social expectations, relationship expectations. There needs to be a little bit more flow, more freedom in that regard, so that this guy here, the Glanconer, has no hold, has no position to be here. This is not a good influence right now in your life. So he's dispelled by that truth, your storyline, your truth. Okay, I hope this helps. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm also available for personal readings at the moment. You can find my email in the description box below. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.